On January 1st, salad tastes as good as a cake and working out feels like a piece of it. But then some things happen all of a sudden and But listen, if you can relate and you feel like you've gotten a little off track, those goals that you set yourself in the beginning of the year, then don't worry, because I got you. Because in this video, we're going to chat about the 10 things that have really helped me out this last month since I decided that I wanted to get back in the best shape of my life. And I'm thinking that since every single one of these have been powerful in my life, maybe if you just incorporate one of these, I think it could make a big difference in your motivation and your progress. In this video, we're going to talk about diet, training, and motivation. So let's get to it.
I was obviously in shape before I set these goals a little over a month ago, but I knew I was capable of doing more than what I was doing at the time. I was just ready to get to that next level. So if you are too, this video is for you. When it comes to diet, we gotta simplify our habits. Actually, you don't gotta do anything other than what works for you. But for me, what really helps is simplifying it. So I have different phases and I eat the same thing in the same phases. So I eat one thing for breakfast, snacks, lunch, and dinner. And then at some point, I'm gonna wanna change it up. And then I'll have another thing, but I'll like kind of stick to that. And it makes my life feel easy and simple and effective. As you know by now, I'm a fan of anabolic recipes. And the ones that I post on this channel, I'll make one of those maybe for a full week or a full month at a time, and then I'll move on to the next anabolic recipe. So feel free to grab inspo from all those recipes if you like. But simplify your diet is tip number 1. And then of course, sometimes I have a little bit of change-ups, like when I eat out in restaurants, which is also something we're gonna be chatting about later in this video. And you know what's interesting? When I started this whole journey a little over a month ago, I tracked my macros for a week. I haven't done that for years, and I was curious to see what I actually ate on a daily basis. I'll share all of that at the end as a little extra. But for now, sometimes simplicity, rather than like experimenting with crazy recipes every day, may just help us make it all a little bit more simple.
The first thing I knew I had to incorporate to get that motivation and strength back, to get as strong AF as I can, was progressive overload. And I went from only being able to lift this to be able to lift a full 45 in this little glute situation. And I feel like I've been able to see progress within every single lift that I've been doing. This is both motivating because every time we see ourselves do a little bit more than we did the previous time, but also our muscles just simply cannot grow if we don't push them past what they have been able to do previously. So kind of a situation that I definitely had to get on track on, and it's gotten me really excited and motivated. Maybe bring a little notepad right on your phone, remember it in your mind, and then next time around, you go a little bit heavier.
If you're doing unweighted exercises, the way to do progressive overload is just do more reps or add a backpack on your back or whatever you can to add more resistance every time you work out.
Did you see me almost fall?
Something that I've never done before, but that my friend Alessandra and I started doing every single Sunday night, is that we have a Sunday meeting where we keep each other accountable. We talk about what went well, what was the highlights, and what didn't go so well from our previous week. And then we talk about what we want for our next week. And we both have our habit trackers, and then we keep each other accountable. And if we don't follow through on the things we told each other that we wanted to do, then there's a punishment. And I've never wanted an accountability partner, but it is so helpful when there's someone else involved. There's just something about it. So maybe find an accountability partner. Also, my dad was just here 2 times this month, which leads me to the next point. Surround yourself with someone who is stronger than you or is really knowledgeable within this field that you want to grow within, because it pushes you to think differently. He's so strong. There were certain things that I thought I was really strong in, and then I worked out with him and I realized, oh my gosh, I can push myself so much more.
I thought it was the abs master, but what happens when you work out with someone that's stronger than you or maybe has a little bit more knowledge than you is that you realize maybe you don't know as much as you thought you did. I thought 120 pounds on this machine was good enough. My dad comes in and he does the double. He does this entire thing, which is 240 pounds. And so I'm like, okay, let me see what I actually can do. And I'm able to do 200 pounds now. So working out with someone else,
it'll be inspiring. It'll hype you up.
Also, just being at this gym, there's so many people who are just strong AF, and it's so motivating. Get it, Kyle? What motivates you to go to the gym?
Honestly, I eat some bad food sometimes. Like, share, subscribe, hit the link in the bio, baby.
I didn't tell him to say that.
No, but she trained me to do everything I'm doing for these abs, so let's go.
Yeah.
Let's go.
It levels you up. But for the most part, I enjoy working out by myself, and I've always gotten
Motivated by watching people's Instagrams who were inspiring to me. Listen to their podcasts or YouTube videos, read books, motivational talks, all these things that can daily hype ourselves up. But don't just get inspired by everyone else, because
the most important encourager you need to actually make this happen is yourself. And I've spoken before about how I speak to myself to hype myself up. And especially recently, I'm really intentional about doing this to keep up my motivation, especially when I don't feel like it.
I literally look myself in the mirror and hype myself up. It works.
We'll keep this one crazy short, but just remember that if you are sleep deprived, you're not going to perform, have the discipline, or the energy in your day to reach your goals. A New Year's resolution for me this year was to really focus on getting better sleep, because I hadn't been very good at that. I don't go late to bed. Sometimes I'll like wake up early and then I'll just like get up. But now I'm like, if I wake up and I haven't slept my 7 to 8 hours, I'll do my best to fall back asleep. So that's a massive thing for me. I started wearing my Aura ring and I have been tracking it. I read before bed and I do a gratitude list, which I've realized if I do that for at least 30 minutes before I go to bed, then I sleep better. Just trying to do my best for maximum recovery. All right, our brains naturally want to escape anything that feels uncomfortable. And so this past month, I've had to get very intentional about wanting to get to the point where I'm uber uncomfortable. And so we're not looking like my dad is when he's working out. We just aren't working hard enough.
The face cannot hide the pain that the muscles are going through. Did that make any sense? I am not sure. Moving on.
I've heard a lot of scientists on podcasts talk about how when we eat a plate that we should start with our vegetables and then eat our protein and then we can eat our carbs and what's left on our plate. And eating this way really does make me feel really good. I went out to eat sushi with my dad, and because I went in with this approach, I wasn't able to finish the rest of my rice, but I did end up eating a perfect amount of healthy fats, 60 grams of protein, as well as some good carbs to fuel me up. I feel like nowadays, regardless of where you go to eat, there are always going to be healthier options that you can pick from the menu. And I think we all know it's just about being intentional and aware. When it comes to what to eat, that all comes down to your specific goals, and you can calculate that online if you have a specific goal, and then adjust and plan your meals accordingly. When I track my macros for that 1 week, I realized that the macronutrient that I eat the most of is carbs, both from things like oats, but a majority of it comes from vegetables and fruits. And then obviously I make sure to eat a lot of protein. The recommendation is about 0.8 to 1.2 grams of protein per pound of lean body mass or weight. If you have like a pretty normal weight, you can kind of go by that. And I eat on the upper end of that. So about 1.2 grams of protein per pound of body weight. And honestly, the calories vary so much because it just depends on how much I'm moving. If I run an extra 5 or 10K a day, I'm gonna need 300 to 500 extra calories on that day. So we can never compare our total amount of calories with someone else's, because it really just all depends on how much we burn on that given day. This is Alessandra and I's goals for March, and then that's what we do every Sunday. Make a plan for the week so that we can get closer to those goals. I'm talking about goals. You obviously know by now that you need to have a really clear goal to know what you're striving for. If you don't have a clear goal, your actions will be like this because you're not actually clear on where it is that you're headed. Set those goals, get really clear and specific on what it is that you want, put those habits into place that are gonna work for you, nobody other than you, and let's crush this thing together. Because we deserve that, and we have no idea the level of confidence, growth, and just happiness that can come from us doing it.